Today we'll be creating a simple robotic alarm system using LEGO Mindstorm's EV3. Hi there, this is Krog from Gatton State School, and today I'll be showing you how to create a simple alarm system using the LEGO Mindstorm's EV3 brick with an ultrasonic sensor attached. This is a fantastic starter project for designing robotic systems because you can take this simple basic program and vary it to suit any of the LEGO Mindstorm's input and output functions. You could even use this basic programming concept to apply to other robotics platforms like Microbit or Arduino. Today I'll be using the EV3 education software, which you can download from the LEGO Mindstorm's education website. Now, if you look down at the EV3 panel at the bottom of the screen, you can see I've already connected my EV3 brick with the EV3 education software using Bluetooth. Now, you may like to connect using a USB cable instead, but I prefer using Bluetooth because it makes the download process a little easier. So I'm going to go ahead and connect the ultrasonic sensor to my EV3 brick. I'm going to connect the ultrasonic sensor using the cable into port number 1, and then just plug the other end of the cable into the ultrasonic sensor. So now, if I switch to port view in the information panel, we can see that the ultrasonic sensor is sending a reading to the computer. The ultrasonic sensor works by producing high frequency sound waves. It's way too high for humans to hear, but the sensor measures how long it takes for the sound waves to hit an object and then converts that into a distance measurement. So, as you can see, if I move my hand closer to the sensor, the reading from the ultrasonic sensor gets lower and higher. Now I'm just going to increase the size of my programming panel so that we can see a little bit more of the programming here. Just like Scratch and most other visual programming editors, the EV3 programming software uses color-coded blocks that snap together to create the programs. We want our alarm to beep if the ultrasonic sensor senses an obstacle fairly close. For now, let's say 20 centimeters. But we want the alarm to stop beeping if it doesn't sense an obstacle so close. To program this, we're going to use a switch block, and you'll find it here in the orange flow control section. The switch block is kind of like an if-then-else block in Scratch. If there's an obstacle within 20 centimeters, then beep. Or else, if there's no obstacle within 20 centimeters, don't beep. Let's snap the switch block into place and have a look at how we can use it to program our alarm. So the first thing we need to do is to make sure that the port number matches the port we have the sensor plugged into. You might remember we plugged our sensor into port number 1. The switch block is currently set to be used with a touch sensor, but we're going to switch that to an ultrasonic sensor, and we're comparing the distance in centimeters. The first part of the switch block is where we set our condition, or the if part of our program. Remember, we want to check if an object is less than 20 centimeters away. So we can change that to compare the less than, which is option number 4, and change the distance to 20 centimeters. So in port number 1, we're using the ultrasonic sensor to check if there's an object less than 20 centimeters away. Now this top part is where we program what happens when this condition is met. And you can see there's a tick there to indicate that this is the positive part of the program, or what happens when this condition is met. And if there is an object less than 20 centimeters away, then we want the alarm to beep. Okay, so this is kind of like the then part of the program. If this is true, then do this. Now we want our alarm to beep, and so we want to get a sound block. And the sound block you'll find here in the action section of the block palette. So I'm going to grab our sound block and I'm going to snap it into place in the top part of the switch. Now, I don't want to play a sound file. I'm just going to get it to play a tone. And so it will play a tone if there is an object within 20 centimeters. The bottom part is where we program what happens when the condition that we've set is not met. So it's kind of like the else part. If there's an obstacle within 20 centimeters, then our alarm should play a tone. Or else, if there's not an obstacle or an object within 20 centimeters, we want our tone to stop. So I'm going to grab another sound block, but this time, instead of playing a tone or playing a note, I'm going to program the alarm to stop. Let's run our program and test if it works. So I'm going to put my hand in front of the ultrasonic sensor so that I can see that it's less than 20 centimeters. If I download and run my program, I can hear that the alarm plays that tone when my hand is within 20 centimeters. If there's not an object within 20 centimeters and we run the program, we should hear the download sound, but hopefully not that tone of the alarm. That worked pretty well, but I'd like that alarm tone to play over and over again so that it's a continuous alarm when there's an obstacle or an object within 20 centimeters, and there's no alarm sound if there's an object outside of that 20 centimeter limit. So I'm going to go back into the orange flow control section, and I'm going to grab a programming loop. And you can see that this loop is set to run whatever programming is inside it over and over again for an unlimited amount of time. So I'm going to put my switch inside my loop, and so it's going to continuously check if there's something within 20 centimeters. If there is something within 20 centimeters, we should have our tone playing. If there's not something within 20 centimeters, our tone should stop. So let's download and run. So at the moment, you can see there's not an object within 20 centimeters, but if I move my hand closer to 20 centimeters, it will play that very loud, annoying tone. And as I move my hand away, it will stop playing that tone. So that's a fairly simple alarm system programmed using the LEGO Mindstorm's EV3. As I said earlier, you can adapt that program to use any of the LEGO Mindstorm sensors or any of the LEGO Mindstorm's output, including motors, lights, sound effects, images that flash up on the screen. And you can also adapt the same concepts of programming to any robotics platform as well. The programming might look a little bit different, but those concepts are exactly the same. Thanks for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you next year at the Toowoomba It Takes a Spark and Youth Entrepreneurs Conferences.